Let us discuss about microbes in human welfare. As the name indicates, we all used to say that microbes are harmful to us in many ways. But microbes, even if in spite of harmfulness are there from the microbes are very much useful to the humankind. One and another way, microbe help in our so many aspects. Different fields. Consider the aspects related to house or household activity. Take the field of industry. Take the field of environment. Take the field of waste management. In all these aspects, take the field of medicine. In all these aspects, the microbes play a very important role. Microbes, majority of the microbes, such as bacteria, viruses, viroids, prions, comes under a category. Can be all these can be grouped into funguses. Can be grouped into a category of prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So therefore, we can say the microbes can be of prokaryotes and they can be of eukaryotes. The microbes like funguses, the microbes other than bacteria, take the case of yeast, funguses, that all comes under eukaryotic microbes. And there are prokaryotic microbes, that's bacteria. Bacteria comes under prokaryotic category, kingdom of Monera it comes under. And there are viruses, viroids and prions. Not only we cannot be consider them as a living microbes. They are considered not a living, not a non-living. Simply we can consider them as a particles of life. And we will have a detailed structural study of all this. Where do microbes see? Microbes are there in every field of life. Microbes are there in the atmosphere, air. It's there in the water. It's there in the soil. Wherever we go, there is the presence of microbes, one or in another way. And it is universal, a cosmopolitan appearance of viruses. Virus seen in a cosmopolitan way. As I told you earlier, even if so many harmfulness from the microbes are very useful to humankind. Some of the different aspects of microbes in their usefulness we are going to discuss now. Let us discuss about microbes in household activities. Variety of microbes are there in household activities. Among them, the production of curd is a very important aspect. When we discuss the curd and its production, a group of bacteria come to our mind is lactobacillus. The lactobacillus bacteria are together known as lab, lactobacillus bacterial group. When we take a boiled milk in a beaker and keep it for a few days by adding an inoculum into it. This inoculum is nothing but containing millions and millions of lab. When we add a lab inoculum into the beaker containing milk, this lab coagulate the milk protein there in the milk and convert milk into curd. Here we can say that the group of bacteria that are acting here in the production of curd is lactic acid bacteria or lactobacillus group. Therefore, when we consider the case of households and the microbes, the first use come to our mind is curd, the production of curd. Let us discuss about another group of activity held by the bread production. In bread production, the yeast is acting, whether the scientific name Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Saccharomyces cerevisiae are or yeast helpful in production of bread, and also they are very much useful in the production of wines, beverages, that mean whiskey, brandy, like rum, like beverages. In an industrial production of this is enabled with the help of yeast that we will discuss later. This is household things we discuss now. Anyway, the production of milk, production of curd from the milk, production of bread are the two major household usefulness enabled by the microbes such as lab and yeast. Take the case of the production of bread. There is a conversion of fermentation. The activity done by the yeast is called as fermentation. That is known as yeast fermentation. That is the fermentation of yeast. This is what's happening in the bread production. And in yeast fermentation there is an activity, an event take place behind it. That all we know, that is anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration results in the formation of preparation of bread or preparation of bread. Anaerobic fermentation is the primary activity take place in the production of bread to the help of yeast. And as I told you, not only in bread production, they are very much useful. The yeast are very much useful in production of so-called wines and beverages too, that we will discuss if we discuss the industrial production or industrial activities done by them. And it is very important to know and study about the production of cheese by a group of bacteria called Propionibacteria. Propionibacteriums are very useful in production of cheese. Anyway, these are the important microbes that are acting in household activities. Let us discuss about the industrial uses of microbes. Let us start with, when we discuss about the industrial use of microbes, it is very compulsory to discuss about, it's very important to discuss about the production of ethanol. Production of ethanol means by using Saccharomyces cerevisiae or brewer's yeast, repeat, by utilizing the yeast Saccharomyces cerevisiae, is also known as brewer's yeast, by using the yeast, the industrial sector produces ethanol or different types of beverages. The production of large amount of beverages in large vessels by growing the yeast in fruit juices and cereal juices, that mean wheat, sugarcane like juices. By the growing of the yeast in large fermenters can produce large amount of ethanol. Production of beverages can be of two types. If there is processing, those beverages can be termed as distilled beverages. Distilled beverages are whiskey, brandy and rum like beverages. And those who without distillation, it is of beer and wine. Beer and wine produces in large fermenters without distillation, and whiskey, brandy and rum like beverages produces by undergoing a particular processing known as distillation. Antibiotics are certain chemicals that are produced by some microorganism which are able to kill other microbes. Repeat. Antibiotics are certain chemicals produced by some microorganism that are able to kill or inhibit the growth of some other microbes. An antibiotic discovery was first incidentally by the Alexander Fleming. When Alexander Fleming was dealing with a bacteria called Staphylococcus, he observed that the unwashed petri dish of Staphylococcus at certain regions of the Staphylococcus growth. So this is a petri dish of that, which shows the growth of Staphylococcus bacteria. He observed that at certain regions there is the presence of a mold. A mold was there in this region, a mold. Alexander Fleming observed this dish again and again, and he noticed that The region where mold present is Penicillium notatum, that is the fungus or mold seen in this position. The Penicillium notatum was the fungus or mold that was there in that region. Remaining all region, there is the presence of staphylococci growth. And he observed carefully and he found out that at this region, because of the growth of Penicillium notatum, there is staphylococcus growth is not there. Repeat. The staphylococcus growth is not there where Penicillium notatum mold present. From this, he again conducted the study and found out that Penicillium notatum, a fungus, produces a chemical called penicillin, which is able to kill the so-called staphylococci of that region. So, a chemical produced by the Penicillium notatum was able to destroy of the staphylococcus at this region, and that was the incidental discovery of Alexander Fleming. And through this, he noticed that it can be used as an antibiotic against certain bacteria. That was the discovery of penicillin, the first antibiotic, by 1954. It was widely used in the Second World War. With him, two other scientists also worked to make it as an antibiotic. That was Flore and Chain. Flore and Chain and Alexander Fleming have worked together and founded out this as a vaccine. And therefore, for the discovery, they awarded for the Nobel Prize too. Not only the penicillin, there are antibiotics such as streptomycin, erythromycin, etc. And majority of the antibiotics are the derivatives of funguses. That is a very important thing we have to note. So many funguses are there that are able to produce antibiotics. Among that funguses, the Aspergillus is one fungus which produces which used to produce an antibiotic called patulum. So very important. Patulum is one of the important antibiotics. Patulin. Patulin is one of the major antibiotic which is derived from a fungus called Aspergillus clavatus. And Viridium also, another fungus, a fungal antibiotic, which is from the Gliocardium variants. And Trichothecium roseum also result in the production of an antibiotic named trichothecene. So these are the antibiotics. The production, by producing lot of antibiotics, the microbes are very much useful for us. Let us discuss some of the another uses of antibiotics. Antibiotics are very much helpful in production of certain chemicals and certain medicines. That's what we are going to study later.